The phrase America first means the United States must come first. What exactly does that cover? What the United States, led by Donald Trump, is doing right now? Is it about securing the world's key strategic points? Whether it's wanting to get the Panama Canal back, wanting Greenland, wanting Canada, are all of these considered strategic trade points? Is the US trying to secure these areas now before any conflicts break out? And another important thing the United States is rushing to do is to gather ammunition. And by ammunition, I mean money. They're doing this by cutting unnecessary government spending. Right now, the major budget the US has decided to cut is the funding for helping the rest of the world. You can support the information for this clip by scanning this QR code or just hit subscribe for us. That way, my team and I will know that what we've worked hard to find, there are people who want to watch it and that it's useful for you, our viewers. Thank you so much. Speaking of something I'm curious about, is Donald Trump trying to clear up strategic points in global trade and warfare? Let me talk about this point first. The United States said it wants to take back the Panama Canal. Just how strategic and hot is this spot? It's so important that even the newly appointed Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, one of the very first things that he did immediately after taking office was make a direct trip over to Panama. He actually traveled there personally to ask Panama to actively work on scaling back China's administrative influence within the country. And what Marco Rubio said was exactly what I was wondering about too. Because Marco Rubio has explicitly pointed out that Panama needs to actively work to diminish the influence of China in managing the Panama Canal area. Since if a major geopolitical conflict arises in the future, China, having authority over the canal, might use its power to completely obstruct or block the Panama Canal, which would cause trouble for the United States. Rubio also referred to the neutrality of the Panama Canal, which is required to serve all countries equally. The importance of the Panama Canal is that it connects the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, and it's a route that sees a huge number of cargo ships passing through each year. Most importantly, it holds significant influence over the Latin American region. And if you ask why the United States is particularly concerned about this point, it's because of China. China has been investing in building trade infrastructure for a long time now. By investing in key maritime strategic points around the world through the Belt and Road Initiative, Panama and China have signed an agreement together on this project. The Belt and Road Initiative, also known as the Silk Road Project, has been in place since 2017. So China ended up making massive investments in Panama's ports. And there are also Hong Kong companies coming in to manage operations. All of this made Donald Trump really unhappy. Donald Trump said this: "Right now, China is coming in to manage the Panama Canal, but we, that is the United States, did not return the canal to China. We returned the canal to Panama, and we're going to take the canal back." The United States used the word take back because the United States is the one who built the Panama Canal. And they already formally signed a landmark treaty to return it to Panama back in 1979. That is exactly how the United States-Panama Treaty originally came into existence. This treaty explicitly states that the United States has the right to militarily intervene if Panama's neutrality is ever threatened, whether that threat comes from inside or outside the country. And the United States considers Panama signing a contract with China to let them manage the Panama Canal. It's a violation of the US-Panama Agreement. The president of Panama immediately responded saying, "Hey, calm down. Panama is neutral. We provide services to all countries using this canal in a neutral and inclusive manner. Anyone can use it. But, well, if the US is going to say things like that, then Panama has decided not to renew the Belt and Road Initiative agreement with China." Another place the United States wants is Greenland, which is the largest island in the world. The size of the island might not be the main issue, but the point is that Greenland is one of the strategic locations that could block routes Russia might use to attack the United States, as you can see from this route here. You can see that if the United States could acquire Greenland, it would be able to block this route. The route from Greenland to the UK is a crucial channel that the United States needs to close off, in case any uncertainty arises. Because if Russia were to attack the United States by sea, this would be the main route. Another security reason why the United States would want Greenland is because Greenland has a coastline along the Arctic. And the United States wants more Arctic coastline so that it can have rights to the resources in the North Pole or the Arctic. Because the United States, even though it's a country that can print unlimited amounts of money, but it still has limited resources anyway. So the reason the United States wants Greenland is because it's a strategic security point that would allow the US to have access to enough natural resources or things with real economic value, enough to be on par with Russia. Another important reason the United States wants Greenland is that if America gets Greenland, it would allow the US to surround Canada with its territory. That is, with Greenland, Alaska, and then the US itself down below. And this would also make Trump's desire to make Canada the 51st state seem like it would be easier to pressure and accomplish. Speaking of this, the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, he made it clear that there's no way. He even questioned the United States, asking why they keep targeting and aiming to make Canada the 51st state, even though Canada has fought side by side with the United States before. There are so many other places in the world. Why don't you want those instead? As for Donald Trump, who said he wanted Canada to be the 51st state, it's because, honestly, the United States supports Canada with billions of US dollars. And if they didn't have this money, or Donald Trump, think that Canada wouldn't even be able to exist as a country. Canada should be our 51st state. In this situation, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau could only tell his people that he would resist to the very end, but also asked for their cooperation, saying that we, or the Canadian people, might have to endure hardships together. And aside from the various strategic points that the United States is currently securing, another thing they're rushing to do is gather ammunition. And by ammunition, I mean money, because money wins wars. As for Donald Trump's way of raising funds, well, that's Donald Trump for you. Right now, it's all about cutting out unnecessary expenses. For example, appointing Elon Musk as the head of some kind of Department of Doge or something like that, just to slash unnecessary government budgets. And right now, it seems like they've discovered that one of the biggest budgets the United States could cut without causing trouble for Americans is the budget for aid to other countries and organizations around the world. The White House has announced a policy to halt any such budgets for global aid organizations for 90 days. Then they'll review which ones are good, which ones are acceptable, and which ones are not. They'll look at which ones support or which ones hinder the America First policy, or the idea that America must come first. If anything doesn't align with America First, then they'll probably consider canceling it. Because when you think about it, if someone asks why other countries have to give in to America, or why they have to be so loyal to the US, one reason is that the United States does have its merits. One of the main merits of the United States is that it's the country that spends the most money to support organizations and countries around the world, more than any other nation. The budget that the United States uses to help other countries, in 2023, I found information that it was $71.9 billion US dollars. This amount of aid accounts for about 25% of all the money given by the entire world. This money is spent to support various organizations around the world or by the United States itself. So the US is one of the top 4 contributors when it comes to money used to help the poor and underprivileged people around the world. So if anyone wants to say that the United States is this or that in the middle of things, no matter how they manage to do it, we have to admit that the US spends a huge amount of money to help humanity. In fact, the UN even headlined that a pause or a halt in US aid for just 90 days would put millions of people at risk between life and death. However, the current US is not absolute and includes several specific exceptions. It explicitly excludes essential food supplies and military aid to Israel, which are mandated to continue without any interruption. No matter what the circumstances are, the U.S. will still provide unwavering support and critical assistance to Israel. On February 4th, Donald Trump even publicly proposed a new and controversial idea to completely rebuild and reorganize the Gaza Strip. This idea shocked both U.S. allies and Arab nations. They were like, wait, if you do that, where are you going to put the Palestinians? The Arab countries came out to oppose the plan, saying it probably couldn't be done because it seems like it would be illegal. The president of Palestine said that he would not allow the rights of his people to be violated, and also warned that Gaza is the land of the Palestinian people. Forcing people to evacuate is a serious violation of international law. Egypt and Jordan also disagree. They said that they had previously rejected Trump's idea for Jordan and Egypt to take in more Palestinians. As for Saudi Arabia, they made it clear that Palestinians should not have to leave their own country. Meanwhile, the Palestinians themselves said that such a plan is impossible. But the Prime Minister of Israel, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, he said that Donald Trump's idea is truly remarkable, and that it should be thoroughly examined and seriously implemented, because he believes this idea will create a different future for everyone. However, this plan has faced a lot of heavy criticism, so on February 5th, the White House had to clarify to the media that the United States only wants the Palestinians to temporarily evacuate from Gaza. They're not asking for a permanent evacuation, and there will be no deployment of military forces into the area either. That was the statement from the White House on the 5th, right? But on the 6th, February, Donald Trump posted on his own social media that Israel would hand over Gaza to the United States once the fighting ends. And there would be no need to send in U.S. military forces either. But then the UN had to step in and hit the brakes hard. Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations, which is an ally of the United States, came out to warn Trump to avoid a Gaza sweep, and also suggested that the way to solve the problem is it shouldn't be handled in a way that causes even more violence. And we must also adhere to the fundamental principles of international law. After hearing all this, do you feel the same way I do? That America first? Honestly, what exactly does it cover?